Our next session, The Road Ahead, Breaking Barriers to EV Adoption. Please welcome moderator Anna Robertson, co-founder, head of content, The Cool Down, and Cassandra Garber, Chief Sustainability Officer, General Motors.
You came to this new role at GM as the Chief Sustainability Officer from Dell, right?
Yes.
Keyboards for dashboards. So
Yes.
How's it been going, and why did you choose to take this job?
It's been absolutely fantastic. Who wouldn't take this job, quite frankly? I have several reasons I took the role. The first one, automobiles are a personal thing for me. I grew up in the town where my grandfather had Tony's Radiator Shop in a town of less than 5,000 people. He was a community leader because he had the radiator shop. So there's an absolute economic kind of impact that we fully recognize exists there. My husband was a service advisor, so we know, the other side of the experience that you have with automobiles. But my favorite example of why I took this job is so much of your life is lived in your vehicle. And for me, some of my family's most wonderful memories have been in our vehicles. I know some of you in the audience, and we take epic family road trips. We have driven across most of the country. That vehicle is where we have so many family stories, and the conversations when I'm taking my daughter to homecoming dance last weekend with all of her friends. I mean, the stuff that happens in your car is so much more than a vehicle. So I love that part of it. Second, because I know my audience here, the other reason that I took this job is Scope 3 Cat 11. And I love that I can say that and you all go, I know exactly what you mean. The potential impact from the automotive industry is significant. So electrifying the automotive industry was absolutely one of the reasons I wanted this job so badly. And lastly, the cars are cool. I actually have some pictures I'll share in a minute, but I mean, who wouldn't want to spend their time getting to talk about all these amazing vehicles, drive them, try them, and have all the conversations I get to have with all of you about electric vehicles. So there are other reasons, but we don't have time for that.
I love that you're really driving and using the vehicles and enjoying them with your family. So
Absolutely.
You started on Earth Day this past April. So give us a report card. How's it been going so far?
Okay, I can happily do that. Better than a report card, I'm going to show pictures. Yeah, here's some photos of real life experiences. So from a personal standpoint, this has been such a blast. I'll just share one example here. My family and I, because I get a lot of questions about EV road trips and all that kind of stuff. So I have 3 kids and we have 2 dogs. And over the summer, we did 2,500 miles in a Cadillac Escalade IQ. So for those of you like us who have been waiting for the big SUV that is electric so that you can haul your family around, it has arrived. In fact, it's outside. You can go for a drive, so go out and drive it. But we did 2,500 miles through Midwest area this summer, and it was an absolute blast. And really important is the photo on the top left. You can fit 5 duffel bags for 5 humans to take a road trip for almost 2 weeks. It works in the trunk of the vehicle, or e-trunk.
These are the important things.
These are the important things that really
As
matter.
moms of teen kids.
No, seriously, whether or not you can fit all your stuff. And we had to use the front because we had to have the dogs in the back. And This is the reality of our lives, right? So anyway, that's been absolutely fantastic. So much fun. The next slide, I think I clicked, but it didn't go. The other fun thing that's been happening is there's a whole community out at the charging stations. So for those of you who are EV drivers, you know this, but it's even more fun than you would expect. So whether you're at a Tesla charger, which with NACS adapters we can use, or the many, many other kinds of chargers. I have, of course I have a GM Energy charger at home, so we have a home installation as well. But some of my favorite experiences are out at the charging stations, because when you have a new electric vehicle, everybody wants to ask about it. Wait, what is that? I didn't know GM had that. I didn't know Cadillac had that. And how much range do you get? And it's really funny and it's really entertaining. So I know we have a group here who knows all about EVs, but I had some really interesting conversations out on the road. At the office, and my next slide, the clicker doesn't, there we go. This is my first day on the job. So this is my day 1 photo, and I walk in the building and our vision is the first thing you see. So you go through the little turnstile and boom, there it is. Our vision is 0 crashes, zero emissions, zero congestion. And when you join a company and you get to be the Chief Sustainability Officer, and the first thing you see when you enter is the very thing that you came there for, it's just this really humbling and incredible experience. So that was a moment for me that I wanted to share. And next, I get to talk about cars, and that has been so much fun for the past several months. So everything from the Cadillac that made Cadillac back in the day, to the Celestiq, which is Cadillac Celestiq, which is fully customizable. The story goes, you can walk in with your favorite handbag and say, I want my car to look like my handbag, and they will do it. You're going to pay for it, but they will do it. But speaking of bringing people what they enjoy and what they love, the last thing I'll mention about the 5 months that I've been in the role is there is a phrase that I have heard more times than I can count, including this week here, which is bring back the Chevy Bolt EV. And some of you in the room have probably already said it to me. So unfortunately, we can't bring it here to Nest, but we are bringing back the Chevy Bolt EV. So,
Right.
In fact, I wore earrings appropriately, so for those of you, I'm not selling these earrings. There's nothing I get from them, but
This was the Easter egg.
this is yes. If you didn't know we were bringing the Bolt back, you should have by the earrings, right? No, but because we couldn't bring a Bolt here, we want to bring you to the Bolt. So
Let's take a
if you
look.
don't mind,
Yeah, roll
run
the
the
video.
Hi to all my Climate Week friends. I am here in beautiful Warren, Michigan at GM headquarters, and really pumped to be able to show you something that very few people have seen. And in order to show it to you, I'm going to invite my friend, the Executive Chief Engineer, aka the Bolt Queen, Mandy, to share more details.
I'm so glad you're here and very excited to tell you about the Bolt. It's back, it's better than ever. It is so awesome. I've been driving one for the last couple of weeks and it's so much fun to drive.
Okay,
Do you wanna
keep
take a look?
Yes, please.
All
I'm
right.
dying to get in.
You're in it.
Bolt fans rejoice, and
Woo.
I am rejoicing in here. I've peeked at everything, even though I'm not supposed to. And you know, along those lines of breaking the rules, I'm just going to go ahead and take it to Climate Week, if you don't mind.
Okay,
Yeah,
have a
they're
great week.
they're waiting for us there. So,
Enjoy.
promise. Bye, Mandy.
Bye.
Not to ruin it, but I didn't actually drive from there to here, just so you know. No, I mean, the Bolt is, we are really, really excited to be bringing the Bolt back. So many people we know really want that. I mean, it is an affordable EV, and we know how important that is. We can talk more about that, but because we have this incredible portfolio now, we have 14 electric vehicles at GM, 14. And so because we have that many, we've been able to take lessons learned from others and bring them to the Bolt. So for those of you who know the Bolt well, it is back and it is better than ever. So it's going to have faster charge, longer range, and Super Cruise, which is our hands-free driving system. So it truly is just fantastic, and we're really, really excited to have it back.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, because we have a great newsletter at the Cool Down. If you're not already signed up, it's called Clean Machines, where we cover sort of the transition to cleaner vehicles. And we're just constantly covering new launches, new cars. You guys have, over a dozen, as you mentioned, 14 EVs in your lineup. I think a lot of people don't know that, right?
Yeah.
And you've quietly become number 2 in the EV market. So what do you wish people knew about your EV strategy and the portfolio?
Yeah, I mean, I would love it if everybody walked away from here going, dang, GM, I had no idea. The things you should know about what we're doing on EVs, one, we're not stopping. So we remain completely committed to our zero emissions, all electric future. It has to be a profitable, all electric future, of course. We are a business, but we are not stopping. We are not, by any means, less committed than ever before. Our progress could change, our timeline could change for sure, but we're sticking with it, and for all the right reasons, but also for business reasons. So we have doubled our market share in EV sales over the past year. We've doubled it, and just as you were saying, Anna, we're now number 2 in EV sales in the U.S. Chevy alone is number 2 in EV sales in the U.S. So we are seeing incredible business value in this. We also are seeing, from an EV standpoint, half of our EV customers are new to GM. It's an entirely new market. We are bringing in new people. So it's just really, really fantastic from a business standpoint. So I'd love for people to know that. But also the 14 EVs, people's minds are blown. A lot of times when I'm talking to people, they don't know we have any. So talking to them about how we have this incredible portfolio, whether it is the Bolt, again, not many people know that the Bolt is coming back, but you now know that, or it's the Equinox EV, which is out there, check it out. It is also at a fantastic price point, all the way through to work trucks. We have a Chevy Silverado EV work truck. And I love watching people see this work truck because they go, oh, but that's like a truck. And I'm like, yes, it's a truck that happens to be electric. So we've now got multiple trucks as well that are electric. People still ask me about the Hummer and, when are you guys going to electrify the Hummer? And I'm like, we did. There's two models. You've got the EV truck and you've got the SUV. So the Hummer is entirely electric now. And a personal favorite of mine, I will say as well. And lastly, if you want a luxury EV as well, we've got that. So Cadillac has a full lineup. We've got Lyriq, Optiq, Vistiq, and the Cadillac Escalade IQ, some of which are outside that you can go ahead and check out. So just knowing that they're out there, options are no longer a problem for EV adoption.
Getting in the vehicles and experiencing them.
Yes.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is consumer adoption, right? It's great to create these awesome cars and sustainable products, but we really need consumers to adopt them. You've done a lot of research into some of the barriers to consumer adoption. So talk about what you've learned there and some of the myths that we might want to bust about consumer adoption of EVs.
Yeah. So I call them the 3 C's. The big barriers to adoption of EVs are cost. People think that they're just going to be very expensive, but I would love to bust that myth. One, again, I didn't actually mean to say the Bolt again, but Bolt again. So there are more affordable EVs now. So, and not just GMs. Of course, I want you to buy GMs, but please just get in an EV. There are a lot of them. So there are affordable EVs that exist today. But the other thing we're talking about is total cost of ownership. So it's not just the purchase of the vehicle, but when I bought my first electric vehicle, I sat down and I did the exercise of what is it going to mean to not have to pay for gas all of the time? What is it going to mean whenever I can choose when I power my vehicle, so I can choose getting my electricity at off-peak times? What is it going to mean when I don't have to pay for those oil changes? And let's not even talk about cost of time, because none of us have the time to do all of those things as well. So cost is actually a barrier that is decreasing and a bit of a bias that we want to overcome. The second is it's too complicated. So a lot of people, and I know a lot of us know people in our lives who they say, my life is busy enough, I don't have time to figure out that electric vehicle, I don't get how they work, it sounds overwhelming. But like a lot of technology, it's actually quite intuitive. And what we find is that when people actually get in an electric vehicle and they start driving it and they enjoy the driving experience and they start clicking the buttons and doing the things, it's not that complicated. It's not that hard of a transition. You just got to kind of get over the hump, get in, check it out, and then you have a great experience. And the last is charging. So of course the conversation about, oh gosh, but where's the charging infrastructure right now is a very common conversation. One, for most people, road trips are the only time they even need that charging network in any significant way. And while my family loves a good road trip, a lot of people aren't doing a lot of road trips. So when you can charge at home, it's actually quite simple. It's very cost effective. It makes your life easier. So home charging is booming, and we can talk about GM Energy where we can install that for you today as well. But there are other options for that also. But also the charging network is expanding significantly. So I know a lot of people who, even if they don't have it at home and they don't road trip, they charge at the grocery store while they're getting their groceries, they charge at work, and it's very easy for them. Then with the broader charging infrastructure, there's so much happening right now. So in addition to the NACS adapter, making the Tesla network available to everyone, there's now 250,000 chargers across the country. So it's incredible, and we're part of IONNA, which is 7 automakers have come together, and we're investing in another 35,000 over the next several years. So the charging network is continuing to improve, it's continuing to grow. We've got bumps. We all know this. We all are still working through a lot of stuff, and we've got headwinds coming at us, but incredible progress happening to overcome those barriers.
Yeah, that's one thing we certainly see at the Cool Down is, like, as much as everybody wants to save the planet, they're only going to do it if it makes sense for their lives. If there's no sacrifice, if it's a better experience, if they can save money or live healthier, and you've kind of checked those boxes for the consumer. But you showed that slide of your opening, your first day, with the mission, 0 crashes, 0 emissions, 0 congestion. I mean, it's a pretty lofty goal. And given the circumstances we find ourselves in and some of the policy headlines, do you still think that is achievable? And how are you really working to advance that within the GM universe and bringing sustainability into the entire organization?
Yeah, having a vision of 0 emissions is a very lofty goal. It was intentionally lofty. And I know many of you have heard or seen Mary Barra. She is our CEO, and she's just a phenomenal human being. So if you don't follow her or know her, I recommend it. She's the one who set that goal, and she did it on purpose. She knew what she was doing by being bold and setting a goal like that. So while, yes, lofty, not only is it achievable, even if a timeline isn't maybe what those of us in the room and frankly those of us at GM want it to be, it's going to potentially be slower than we want it to be, it is still achievable. And it is our business strategy just as much as it's our sustainability strategy, which is a beautiful thing when you work in sustainability. But it is the reason, that lofty goal is the reason we have 14 electric vehicles. It's the reason that we have battery innovation. We're also the #1 battery cell manufacturer in the United States. All of that innovation, all of that investment in the battery technology, because the batteries are so critical to the profitability and affordability and availability of these vehicles, that came from that goal. So this is where, I mean, those of us who work in sustainability, we know how important it is to be ambitious, and I think that vision is a perfect example of why you're ambitious, because it brings value not only to the world, but absolutely directly to your business.
Yeah, and I think just, that's one of the themes I've heard here this week is really it has to be key to your business growth and business strategy, and not just a box you're checking. And that it sounds like that's what you're working to do.
No, that's absolutely right. And I could talk all day long about integrating it across the business. I mean, we are establishing a community within the company of all of the people who are at senior levels who are responsible for driving this all the way through the company, because of course, while we want to drive electric vehicle adoption, we fully recognize that even though that's the biggest slice of our pie, we have to remain committed on the rest of the pie as well. So integrating in everything that you do, and I do mean everything, and making it the responsibility of everyone in the company remains something that we should all be thinking about.
Yep. Yeah. I want to do a little lightning round because I know you love the vehicles. So let's have some fun here. What's your favorite technology feature in one of GM's vehicles?
Favorite tech, crab walk. If any of you have seen the crab walk, so I've done the crab walk in the Hummer and in the GMC Sierra EV. And basically you can pretty much turn the tires almost perpendicular, and it is for like large rocks and things like that, and being able to off-road and all that kind of stuff. I've never taken it on large rocks, but I have taken it down my street in my neighborhood, and it looks really cool. And people are like, what the heck is happening with that vehicle?
It's a pretty good party trick.
It's such a cool party trick. Yes, and I've done it on a beach as well, and all the beachgoers are looking around and going, what is happening right there on that truck? So yeah, I'd say it's probably that one. Although bidirectional charging is the other thing that a lot of us like to geek out on. So now sorry, I know you said one, but I'm doing it anyway. The bidirectional charging is where you can actually use your vehicle as your own little mobile source of power. So having it as like a backup generator in your home, power goes out, you can use your vehicle, and we now have that available on some of our EVs. To actually put the power back into your home. And so then, maybe up to like a week, you can actually run your home. So you still have your fridge and you still have your heat or whatever it is you might need. That's amazing technology right now. Yeah.
Cool. Favorite mom hack in one of the EVs?
Mom hack. Okay, there's the tray tables in the Cadillac Escalade IQ, which my kids just absolutely love and use. And then there's, the auto opening doors also in the Escalade IQ. That's one of those things that you just completely unnecessary. I don't need my doors to open for me. And then once you have it, you're like, dang it, I never want to open a door again. So I would say that one as well. And then actually out there in the Silverado that we have out there, the outlets in the truck bed, when you're stuck at soccer, when you get to be at soccer tournaments all day long, having
or camping,
power, or
like
camping, or tailgating.
Tailgating.
Yes, tailgating for sure.
Yeah, you're like the queen of the tailgate now.
You are absolutely that. Everybody wants to hang out in your truck bed because you got the power.
Favorite EV to drive with your family?
Escalade IQ. It's just it's meant. We call it our living room on wheels, quite frankly. Yeah, it's
Love
also
that.
called Norman, but our living room on wheels. So
And
yeah,
your favorite EV to drive on your own?
yeah, the Hummer EV SUV is my favorite to drive on my own. It might be a result of the fact that, I'm a rather small individual, and so I really like climbing out of this giant beast of a vehicle and the comments that people make and the questions that I get. But that Hummer is so stinking fun to drive around. I think it should be called electric badassery. I have coded that, so if any of you follow me on LinkedIn, that was a bit of a moment where people are like, did she actually just say electric badassery? And I did, and I meant it.
Yes,
So,
you heard it here.
Yes, you heard it
Well,
here.
Cassandra,
Right.
this was so much fun. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, and congrats on the Bolt, and thanks again.
Thank you.